about Star Wars in general. All right. So
Sounds good.
first things first. What we all probably want to know: favorite Star Wars character.
Favorite Star Wars character? It's got to be Vader. Easy.
Yeah. Oh, my brother.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up, I always thought, like, I don't know, he kind of grows on you as you get older, because you start leaning towards the dark side as you get older, but he's always been so
Very
cool.
True.
And
Very true.
I don't know, I've always thought he was awesome, but
nice. And then
Vader.
favorite film in the series.
Definitely Empire Strikes Back.
Oh my gosh, man. This is just, he has all the right answers, ladies and gentlemen. Little did you know that this is actually a quiz, and he's answering everything correctly.
Killing
awesome.
it.
That's
nice.
awesome. Yeah, Empire's definitely my favorite one, hands down.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, growing up, just like watching that movie was my favorite thing to do. So.
Yeah, Empire's definitely the best. Not only that, but it's definitely the darkest of the films. So it's just,
for sure.
I don't know. I just felt like all the characters grew the most when we watched that one. But yeah, awesome, man. That's pretty sweet. So, on that note of our favorite movies and which out of the series, one of the topics we had for tonight, guys, was favorite scenes from the movies we hope to play through in Battlefront 2. Just in case you have been under a rock for I don't know how long, Battlefront 2 is on its way out, and you guys have a chance to win a free copy by subscribing to our YouTube channel, following us on Facebook or Twitter, and that automatically enters you for a chance to win Star Wars Battlefront 2, which will be out November 17th, but you'll have access to play hopefully sooner than that, because we're going to try to call the contest so that way you can get early access, which would be great, because I know. So yeah, guys, as always, there's a way to grab that, but Star Wars Battlefront 2 is on the way, and it's shaping up to be really nice. We've got some gameplay footage from EA that we got to check out and look at. Once again, we went over the gameplay. If you guys haven't had a chance to see it, we definitely talked about E3 and everything that happened as far as Star Wars went about 2 weeks ago now. So check out our YouTube channel, and you can look for EA Play Star Wars Reaction. I think we named it something like that. Check it out, because we do kind of thing that happened at E3 in that video. So if you're looking for some more info, that's a good place to check it out. But so we've gotten a lot of great things, and there's just right now mostly it's a lot of speculation and a lot of, oh man, we're really excited for this little bit, and if this means we're getting this type of droid, then hopefully we'll get this, hopefully we'll get that and the other. So right now we figured we'd add our voices in to the speculation that's going on and talk about a little bit what we kind of want to see in Battlefront 2. I have high hopes for this game. I know, Adam, you do as well, from what we've seen so far. But yeah, guys, what it's looking like is we're going to have two different opportunities to play, or two different ways you can play through different scenes and different things that happened in the movies in Battlefront 2. We're getting a story mode, which is going to be awesome. We don't know if some of that story mode is going to cross over into some of the story that we already understand as Star Wars. We might get a whole completely new realm with familiar characters and have them in different settings, or we might be reliving some of the stories we already got to hear, but with a little bit of a twist, kind of. Also, there's going to be multiplayer, so just kind of how we got to play through some, pretty awesome battles here in Battlefront 1, or 1, but just Battlefront.
Just Battlefront.
Just Battlefront. Since we got to play here, we got to play some pretty interesting maps, all that. So, but we didn't really in this game get I never felt like we were taking on other than the Rogue One DLC. I never feel like we really got to
the Death Star.
In the Death Star DLC. We didn't really get to play through any events in this, it was mostly just, oh, we're on this world, and then now we're on that world.
Jakku, you played through the battle that led to the crashed Star Destroyers, but it wasn't much of a story to it.
Exactly. So, unfortunately, in this game, and I mean, we've definitely gone over this before, but this game is a little bit more dulled down than we were hoping it would be, but it was still a lot of fun, and we got tons of hours out of it, so we were grateful nonetheless. But either way, there were some parts of this game that we were missing, and that was definitely one aspect of it. Like, this game is definitely a beautiful game, and we got to see some awesome worlds and get taken to some of our favorite places, but I never felt that, oh man, this is like like I said, until the Rogue One and, in the Death Star one, I keep forgetting it. Yeah, we didn't really feel that way. So now, with the release of Battlefront 2 coming, we have a little bit more of an idea of what's coming for the multiplayer, and we have a little bit more of an idea of what the story mode is going to be like. So, that being said, and giving you guys a little bit of a setup now, we can speculate a little bit about what we're going to be seeing in Battlefront 2 as far as the events, or as far as different events that happen through the movies that we'd like to play through. Now, before we get into this now, are we just talking about stuff we'd like to play through the movies, or can we also add the animated series onto that?
Whatever you want. I think that there's a lot
anything's game, man.
Pull from in either.
All right, sweet. So it's everything. I'll say like everything that we know, even if it's not canon. Who cares? This is speculation, so we're allowed to do what the hell we want to. So even if it's not canon, anything goes. Even if it's not canon. So I'll let Zach, right? I'm sorry, I'm gonna forget
Jared.
your name like 18 times. Jared. I'm like, what was it again?
Whatever, man.
All I saw was Mega Man on my screen. So, all right, Mega Man.
Chest a nugget.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, man. I'll let you start since you're our guest. Apparently
right,
not special enough for me to remember your name, but definitely our special guest. So why don't you start, man? What if you could see or play through any of your favorite moments through the Star Wars universe in the video games? What would it be, and why?
Well, we kind of got a chance to play it in the original Battlefront 2, but I really like the droid invasion on Kashyyyk. That'd be really cool to play again, because I really like the beach scene, and just like the whole environment of that level was really cool. It'd be really awesome to replay that, because that was one of my favorite levels playing back in that game. So I think it'd be really cool to see it with like revamped graphics, and I don't know, I'm just really looking forward to playing that. I thought that would be cool.
Kashyyyk in itself, honestly, like, is probably one of the planets I'm most excited to get back to as far as being a playable world again, like from Battlefront. Because, like you said, Battlefront 2, the original PS2, that was definitely hands down one of my favorite levels.
How most people felt too, so.
For sure, man.
Really fun to play that.
Oh yeah, exactly. It's like, are there any? Because I know, like, for me, Star Wars, like, I kind of not separate the battles, but like, will chop up the moments into like, all right, there was like Luke who shot down the Death Star, and then they had in not Rogue One, I'm so sorry, in Force Awakens they had kind of the scene where Rey and Finn are escaping from the stormtroopers, in like kind of high-speed chases and battles like that. And then, in my head, there's also the, lightsaber battles and lightsaber duels that were like, so like added, like those are really what made the prequels, is seeing those awesome lightsaber duels like take place. So, if you were to be able to like recreate in that sense, like or replay your favorite let's say lightsaber battle, or just duel between characters. Yeah, any duel between characters, really. Which one are you most looking forward to?
Alright, I mean, I would say it'd be really sweet to do the Darth Maul and Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan fight. That'd be sick as shit. Like, imagine the music blasting in the background and, like,
alright, guys, so, yeah, I mean, honestly, and I mean, I hate to say this, guys, but I'm gonna have to say, I know those of you listening, we already know that's what you want to see. Like, you picked the very best one.
See, that's my answer to both questions, though, because I think that if they did the Death Star DLC, where you have the different phases of the battle, and you did that for Naboo, it would be amazing. You could do the space fight, you could do the team on the ground charging into the palace, and then you could have Obi-Wan versus Darth Maul as the heroes that you get for that.
That'd be so
kind of like Krennic and Jin. I think that would be the coolest thing they could possibly do.
Now, what is it do you guys think it is about? And like, I mean, obviously, I know I have my own answers to this, but why do you guys think it is that Darth Maul? Because most people I talk to, and obviously that's the one that's the character they decided to really kind of focus heavily on when they've been promoting the game. We've seen a lot of Darth Maul gameplay and just a lot of, but I just wonder what you guys think it is that makes him as a character keep wanting us to like go back to him constantly in all these like, you know, I mean, there's been the rumors of the Darth Maul series that they wanted to do. Like, for some reason he's just a really beloved character. Why do you guys think that is?
I think for me, Star Wars was 40 years old when Episode 1 came out, and there was nothing other than, you know, a couple comic books and stuff between the original trilogy and Episode 1. So when Episode 1 came out, it was totally new ground for the franchise. And through most of Episode 1, I would say, maybe other than the pod racing scene, it's kind of like the original trilogy. It's, you know, lots of characters that are cool, lots of, you know, neat new planets and dialogue. And then Darth Maul just roared onto the scene in his speed battle. I think that was totally different for Star Wars. It was an agile lightsaber fight as opposed to, you know, slow-moving, strength-based lightsaber fight. And it was the first time we'd seen anything like it. In the original trilogy, you had the first lightsaber fight, which was, you know, old Ben and Vader, and then you had Empire and Jedi, which were good fights for the time, but then you had Darth Maul flipping all over the place and kicking and 2 blades on his saber. I think that it was just, even people who didn't like Episode 1 other than Darth Maul freaked out when they saw him. I think it was really cool for people who like Star Wars.
I just think him as a character is like so unique, and we've only got so much of him that we wanted more. I felt kind of gypped when he died. I was like, dang, man. I wanted to see more of this guy because he was so cool.
Yeah, that was the first time that a bad guy died in the first movie, other than Tarkin. So, I mean, it was, I think a lot of people were expecting him to be like the Vader of the prequel trilogy and last the whole way, and he was sliced and diced really quickly.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. I mean, luckily we were able to get the rest of Darth Maul's story
the extended universe
through the new canon material and through the animated series. So we kind of got to finish up his storyline, and if you guys ever get a chance to check it out, the episode where him and Obi-Wan finally face off, the duel itself wasn't very great or epic in any way, shape, or form. But just seeing Darth Maul's storyline finally kind of get wrapped up was definitely really interesting, and it kind of added some depth to Obi-Wan, which, honestly, anything that adds more depth to Obi-Wan's character, I'm all for. This is definitely one of my favorites for sure.
He's the man.
Oh yeah, Obi-Wan's definitely the man. So I mean, there's Obi-Wan versus Darth Maul
and Qui-Gon, because Qui-Gon wasn't in
I'm sorry. Obi-Wan versus Darth Maul, and Qui-Gon also versus Darth Maul.
Oh, Qui-Gon would be a great character to have in the new game.
That was Qui-Gon's gonna be. If we can play as Qui-Gon, I'll be floored. I mean,
he's only ever been in Jedi Power Battles, I think. And Episode 1, the game.
You know what? Qui-Gon wasn't in Battlefront 2.
Right, that's why it would be crazy, because Obi-Wan was.
That's true, Obi-Wan was, but you know what? I just remembered the Qui-Gon, and you could play as freaking Grievous in that game.
Right, you could be like Ki-Adi-Mundi and all these crazy dudes.
Yeah, you could. You could play as and the fact that they didn't have Qui-Gon in seemed a little odd. But yeah, so far we've mentioned Vader versus Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon versus Maul, Obi-Wan versus Maul. What other duels are you guys really, really looking forward to playing through?
Yoda Dooku would be cool, but Dooku would be kind of a lame character if not for that one fight. So I don't need Dooku, but
why is that?
Because he would just be a Vader clone. He's relatively slow moving. I think the big difference is that he has Force Lightning as opposed to Choke, but Other than that, he's slow and heavy.
I'm thinking that they could use Dooku as and now it all depends on what other Sith they're gonna have, because they don't have as many, at least, well, yeah, I mean, it's really true. Yeah, they don't have as many Sith to pull from as they do as far as Jedi. But I mean, the good thing about Star Wars Battlefront is that it's all about the battlefield. So they're not just pulling Sith and Jedi; they're pulling, this warrior from the war, this guy.
Right, and for that reason, Geonosis would be cool, because you could have the giant arena fight, and then you could have Dooku and Yoda fighting in the background. You could have young Anakin
I would
in that.
like to. Speaking of that, I'd like to see Mace versus Jango.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Mace Windu versus Jango. I mean, we all know how it ends, but it'd still be a real cool fight to play through.
And they were in Battlefront 2 on PS2. Both of those characters.
Yeah, they were. If you got, and we've brought it up many a time. And we'll always bring it up to compare it to. If you guys have still not played Battlefront 2 for PlayStation 2, or Xbox Original, which it was out for, go get one, because they're super cheap now. Go get the game.
That game is still fun.
It still holds up to this day.
Yeah.
It aged very well, like most PlayStation 2 games.
I think that's why most people. I think that's why some people had a problem with this game, is because it wasn't
still not
like,
as good.
Yeah, it wasn't.
It still wasn't as good.
Yeah.
If you could have upgraded the graphics, for the original Battlefront 2,
it'd be the best game.
Yeah, it completely blows this game out of the water, and in fact, more than I'll be very surprised if it still winds up having more content. Battlefront 2, the next one that's coming out, still winds up, I guarantee the old one will still have more content, because it was just so packed that it's hard to think that they could fit everything. But honestly, it seems like they're trying. I don't know. I really don't know. It seems like they're trying.
I feel like, they're trying.
I mean, this game was a better shooter than the original Battlefront. I mean,
oh, definitely.
DICE is a better developer, but the content was, you're right, it blew this one out of the water. There's too much to do.
Yeah.
You can play that without internet by yourself every day and not get bored.
Oh yeah, there was too much content in that game to compare. And Adam, you made a great point last time we talked, was that this almost seemed like see if we can make a cool Star Wars shooter, and if people will like it. And they made it, and we enjoyed aspects of it, didn't enjoy other aspects of it, but they found out, oh, we could do this, and we can probably do it really well the second time around. And then, that's where it seems like we're going from there, where this was kind of almost like the skeleton for the next game that we're going to be getting.
It's almost like a beta or something.
Yeah, almost. I told people when this game came out, oh, this game is exciting, but this game has me way more pumped for Battlefront 2.
Yeah.
Knowing what, this game looked like, and knowing they were only going to try to make it better, I was very stoked for Battlefront 2 when it got announced.
And this game's 2 years old, and it's still one of the prettiest games on this gen. Best sounding.
Are you kidding
so,
me?
I mean, Battlefront 2 is just going to improve on the formula.
Definitely. Even going through and play, because I've just, I was fiddling around on The Witcher just the other day, trying to get through some levels on that game. And that game won Game of the Year it came out. Not only did it win Game of the Year, but it won, every accolade a video game could win the year it came out. And it still isn't as pretty as this game. It's a very beautiful game. And The Witcher is very deep, and it's a great game. But just visually, I have not found a game, really, other than, maybe Horizon Zero Dawn and, Final Fantasy was pretty nice. But other than that, I haven't really found played a game that is this gorgeous all around. Just from wall to wall, you could just stop and stare at things, the entire time you play. But yeah, so as far as character battles, there's tons of character duels to choose from all throughout, not only just the canon material, but all the material that's no longer canon. But as far as kind of big battles, the Battle of Hoth, the Battle on Endor. The attack on Endor.
Battle as well.
Yeah, that's also a 3-stage. Yeah, that's true. That is also a 3-stage battle. out of those fights, and not to mention now we have The Force Awakens coming, and we don't know what The Last Jedi is like, because we could be saying like, oh, we want this, we want that, we want the other, but then The Last Jedi comes out and we're like, only give me Last Jedi content. We
that's
only
want.
That's all I want is Last Jedi content. So we don't know about The Last Jedi yet, obviously, but even with The Force Awakens included in that, is there any specific like space battles or battles necessarily
cool.
on any planet? That's true.
Because you can have Kylo fighting Finn and Rey. You can have Captain Phasma running around. You got Han and Chewie. You have the space battle above the planet at the same time. I think in general that was a pretty cool sequence, and it'd be cool to play through that too. Maz Kanata's Palace would be a really sick map.
Yep.
I think that it would be kind of like the Asasi Temple from whatchamacallit, from
oh my gosh,
Jedi,
you know what I just realized when
okay.
you said that? So imagine this, man, Maz Kanata's castle, right? But in the air you get to fight as Poe.
Right. That's what I'm saying. You could do that above Starkiller too. Because he has a stealth X-Wing.
Oh man, that'd be so good. That'd be so good, dude. I want to play as Poe really bad, and the reason why is because at first and you remember talking to me about this. I wasn't too big on Poe as a character. Even just a month ago, I was like, you know what? I don't know about Poe. Like, I like him, but he's not my favorite. And then I've been rewatching The Force Awakens, just so I can, get to know it as well as I know the other movies. So I've been rewatching it a lot, and the more I watch it, the more I like Poe. The more I find his character much more intriguing. At first, I was kind of like, oh, if he dies at the beginning of this next movie, I don't really care. But now I'm like, well, now I kind of don't want him to die. Like now I want to know a little bit more about him. So like Poe, getting to use his fighter, his X-wing, would be dope. And not only that, but Adam said it once or twice now, being able to, if we could get a little BB-8 that we can hang out with as Poe, game over, dude.
Yeah,
that's the only character I'm using. That's the only character.
I think Poe's a neat character because when the Force Awakens trailers were coming out, it was legitimately not easy to tell whether he was a good or bad guy. So I mean,
that's true. Yeah.
Now that we know who he is, I think I like him. He's a younger Han. I mean, obviously that's on purpose, but
Oh yeah.
I think that you're right. Flying his ship would be really cool. If you could have like the Death Star mode here, where you have R2 rolling around. If you could do that with BB-8, with all the stuff he can do, I really like BB-8 anyway. So that would be really neat. But Poe, Finn, Phasma, you name it. And then we might get to see some of the Knights of Ren in Last Jedi. So Knights of Ren, throw them in the mix. Oh.
That is very true, and I completely forgot. And I don't necessarily forget about the Knights of Ren. It's just that their significance hasn't been played up very much.
We just know they're
kind of a mystery.
It's
we
like
just know they're there.
Team.
Like,
we just get to see what they look like, and that's it.
That's exactly what it's like. That's so funny. But yeah, no, you're right. It's a lot like that, where it's like we know they're there, we know they're badass, but we have no idea what they're about really quite yet, or anything like on that realm. So the Knights of Ren, and not only that, but just kind of figuring out where Luke has been this whole time. Those are my two biggest mysteries right now for me personally. Like, I really want to know who the Knights of Ren are, because that will explain so much more about Kylo's ambitions and what he wants. Like, I understand, like, initially in his core, he's like, oh, I just want to be like my grandfather. I want to finish the work that you started. But it seems like he has a giant misunderstanding of his grandfather and the work that he started in the first place. So I'm kind of wondering, like, all right, now, is Kylo going to come to, like, terms with that eventually? Like, oh, I'm nothing like my grandfather, actually, and now I need to come up with my own kind of, life? Or is that lack of, like, oh, man, is he going to just fall apart? So it's interesting because I feel like the Knights of Ren are kind of the key to that. But as far as, like, gameplay wise, because all I keep thinking is when it comes to the Knights of Ren is that we have yet to have like
anything.
The only
you just have a couple pictures,
Jedi yeah, that's true. The only Jedi or Sith that I've seen that have been kind of like, I want to use the term like savage, but like Darth Maul was definitely a savage.
Savage,
like,
yeah.
When it
Count
comes to
was
like,
kind of like, I know what you mean. Like elegant.
He's like put together, you know what I mean? Like he's elegant, like he's very put together. Like even Palpatine was like, yeah, like they have that, you know, that core world upbringing almost, where they, even though they're not.
Palpatine kind of goes savage when he starts screeching.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's very much true.
Savage.
But I'd like to see like, and this is why I say Darth Maul's probably the closest we got to that. But I'd like to see a Sith that's like all tatted up, with like like crazy
Someone that looks like a bad guy.
Yeah, like he looks like a crazy person. You know what I mean?
Because that's the thing about the Sith forever is that if they're walking on the street, other than Darth Maul and Vader.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You look at Darth Maul, he looks alright.
Oh yeah. Except Darth Maul and Vader, exactly. So it'd be nice to see, a Sith that looks just like a crazy person, like, you know.
Yeah,
so I'm
that's
hoping
what we can get.
And video games have always done that well. Like in KOTOR, the dark side manifests itself in your player's appearance.
Revan looks like a monster.
So if you do a lot of dark side stuff, your guy just gets, you know, weird and covered in scars.
So he's growing horns.
His eyes get all red. Yeah, he gets these little horn things. That would be kind of cool.
That's true, yeah. That's funny, yeah.
I agree that a sweet Sith would be neat. But if the Knights of Ren are anything big, then I just don't see how they can either, I don't know. I can't see how they can be both good and not already be dead. I think that if they were any good, that they'd have to be gone, otherwise Luke wouldn't be where he is. And if that they are not already gone, then they were wusses to begin with. Because there's like 6 of them, and there's never been that many Sith. And, you know, there's always 2.
I don't think that...
They might have gotten scraped at some point.
You know what, that's true, because we've never been told they were Force users.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think they're necessarily Force users. I think they're just like
a bodyguard.
I don't know, assassins.
Assassins, okay. Like, almost like the new bounty hunters, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Not in the sense that, like, that group, when we saw Dengar and all of them kind of together on, when they were all talking to Vader at the same time. But, like, not, you know, in that sense, not, you know, actual bounty hunters. Right. But yeah, no, that's interesting. The Knights of Ren are going to be an interesting addition to the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, at the very least, they'll sell toys.
Yeah, at the very least, exactly, they'll sell toys, and I'll probably buy one or 2. But yeah, no, that is also that is the truth. So I mean, we got, as far as The Last Jedi goes, and like I said, we don't know much about it at this point, obviously, except what we've been told. There's some spoilers coming out, but
there's a new trailer coming out soon too.
Oh yeah, there is. Yeah, that's true. I'm excited about that.
Can't wait.
I try to avoid those if I can. Any of those spoilers and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. To my wife. But yeah. So yeah. Other than that, so we got the battles and stuff that we'd like to see recreated. EA Star Wars just put up a post yesterday, saying early beta access ? Epic Star Cards ? We have a feeling you crave these things.
Yeah.
Learn more. Obviously, I mean, it was almost like they were like, water ? Air ?
Sky?
Do you need these things to survive? Yes, we need. Yes, you know we want to know more about them, EA. Why are you being an asshole? You know we want more. Early beta access, when do you guys think that might be coming?
For the last game, it was about a month and a half in advance of the release, so I'd say, and I mean, to get any valuable feedback from a beta, it's got to be at least, you know, a month or 2. Yeah. So I'd say maybe September, late September, mid-September.
Alright, that sounds just about right. That sounds about right. Right, exactly. Star Cards,
they said, they have, Kylo Ren's Force pull, they have a saber throw, they have, I think that the triggers you'll be able to customize. That's my hypothesis.
Yeah,
so you'll be able to
different
say,
powers
like, instead of using left trigger for Force Choke, you could sub out Force Lightning or something. And
that'd be sweet.
And go that way.
That's, well, Now, my only thing, and I mean, obviously, we won't know much more about this until the game comes out. We know that there is no season pass for this game. However, we do know that there are microtransactions. And then we get this thing that says new star cards, and in my head, I want to be optimistic and be like, all right, cool, new star cards, everyone's gonna get them. But now with the idea of microtransactions instead of the season pass, and knowing that EA likes to get their money,
I think you'll be able to unlock them. You could just buy them early. That's usually what microtransactions in the shooter are.
Yeah, so I'm hoping it's something that everybody can have access to. If you play the game straight up and you can just unlock it.
Right.
I'm hoping that it's not a situation where, all right, Mega Man in first place, man, most kills, nice dude. Yeah, I'm hoping it's not a situation that we're like, all right, you want this really cool whatever, now you're gonna pay. Because honestly,
$15.
like it's like you're gonna get paid $15 for this thing. Because like for this, I bought the season pass, obviously. For the original Battlefront, I had to get it. I mean, there's really no choice. It's Star Wars, so I had to get it. I got the season pass, and I was a tad bit disappointed with some of the heroes that came out. I was really happy with some of the modes that came out, so it was kind of a balancing act where I wasn't too happy with some of the heroes, but I was really cool with everything we got as far as, you know, the Death Star DLC and all that. I thought it was really cool the way they played out. However, I do know that, like, because I got, you know, all this content, I had guns and access to guns and stuff that other people didn't have access to from just normal gameplay, which kind of sucked for other people. It wasn't too sucky for me, but for other people,
that's every game. I mean, if you buy a season pass,
it's like
you get
every
more
game.
stuff.
Exactly. So I'm thinking, like, I was trying to think which one I would prefer. If I would prefer to just get a season pass and get...
Like, it doesn't bother me. I would rather have a season pass personally, because you can pre-download everything the night before it comes out. You can do all that stuff. But I don't mind microtransactions, especially if it's you can unlock it and you just pay for the privilege of getting it quicker. Because if I can unlock it, it's not like I'm not playing this game anyway.
That's true.
I think it's more of a... Usually, anyway, microtransactions in, like, sports games are for the casual players that can't spend, you know, 100 hours on a game in its lifetime, and but still want to, you know, up their character's level and stuff. So if it's like that, I won't even use them. I'll just play the crap out of the game and get my stuff the old-fashioned way. If it's like, oh, you can only get this done via microtransaction, I kind of like that it's microtransactions, because you can pick and choose what you want. If it's a gun that you really want to have for your character, or if you think it'll make you better at the game, then you can buy that gun. Whereas when you have a season pass, if you don't want, like, Lando's Night Sniper, then you're stuck with it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
But if you could pay $2 to get it, then that's awesome. But if it was maps and characters, I would prefer a season pass, because... You know, I don't mind.
Okay.
If I didn't want a season pass, I wouldn't pay for a season pass.
Right. So besides, and I'll give this one to either one of you guys. So besides Darth Maul, or, you know, Obi-Wan or Qui-Gon Jinn, if there's a character that you, like, have to see, like, in Battle of Star Wars, like, there's no question, like, it's got to be, like, this character has to be in Battlefront 2. Who's it going to be? And then not just who's it going to be, but if you could basically create a star card for them, to do basically whatever you wanted that star card to do, what star card would you have them have, basically? So for me, it would be, I would want to see Yoda, and I would want a star card that upped his agility.
Ooh,
like almost
that'd
like
be pretty sick.
Like almost like kind of like he moves at not half speed, but like moves at, like, you know, normal pace, and then you use a star card, and then all of a sudden he's like,
oh, it's like
almost impossible. Yeah, like like he can do all this crazy flips.
Fly into the grass, no one can even see you.
Exactly, like impossible to see. So for me,
yeah,
that's kind
that
of
would
what
be pretty sick. I would probably go with Mace Windu and have his classic ground pound. Yeah. Because that was really fun to do in the old games too. Just like run into a group of enemies and ground pound and kill like 5 of them. That was pretty sweet.
Yeah, that would be good. I want to see. I want to see Mace. Definitely. I mean, Mace Windu to me, is a non-starter. Like that's one of the must-haves.
Yeah,
like,
he's got to be in there.
Yeah,
for sure. I'm thinking he's gonna be in there.
I don't know. That's a tough question because most of the characters I would say are already confirmed or we already talked about. Like Qui-Gon would be my answer, I think, but I don't know what his power would have to be. I think that he could just go nice and serene and slow the fight down.
That's exactly
maybe.
What I was gonna say. Yeah, I was gonna say for Qui-Gon, I'd want to see something like almost like like a focus mode. Or something like that, where all of a sudden, like
your body doesn't
just
fall.
Run around saying deep quotes.
Yeah.
There's always a bigger fish, and like someone just dies.
He has a midi-chlorian scanner in his pocket that he can pull out. Off the charts. Master Yodas aren't this high.
He takes a midi-chlorian scanner out. Oh my god. That would be hilarious. That's great. Oh my gosh.
He would probably be my favorite character, I think. I really love Qui-Gon, and he was just like Darth Maul. He was so short-lived. And
yeah, he was. And he was, to me, he besides Obi-Wan, I feel like Qui-Gon kind of epitomized the Jedi, like what it meant to be a Jedi. Like,
oh, for sure.
He definitely like upheld the standard of Jedi better than almost any other, because each character that's a Jedi, you start to learn a little bit more about them and learn like, all right, so all these Jedi live by these codes, but they don't all like adhere to them 100%. Like they have free will. It's not like, all right, the Force is making them act like one way or the other. Like these Jedi have free will, and sometimes they don't act like Jedi. And Obi-Wan, I feel like, was one of the Jedis who like just stayed pure to like what it meant to be a Jedi. Like, and I even mean that more so than Yoda and Mace and all those guys, because they were so bogged down by the bureaucracy of being a Jedi and being a part of the Jedi.
Yeah, he kind of just did his own thing.
Exactly. He went with his feeling, and I think that kind of got lost to the other Jedi. I mean, obviously, we know that, the Jedis were a little bit clouded by the dark side, but even so, I just felt like Qui-Gon was definitely the most Jedi of all the Jedis. Like I said, besides Obi-Wan is probably like the most pure Jedi of all time. I don't think that dude's ever done anything.
Well, I think that has a lot to do with Qui-Gon's teaching, though.
Right,
so.
exactly.
That's true.
Because he was pretty rash and sassy in Phantom Menace. He was given, I can't think of a better word. He was very young and he had a lot of attitude and spunk that Qui-Gon sort of said, trust your feelings and respect me. Like he put him down a couple times.
Man.
And
that's true. Yeah, he did put him in his place once or twice. Like even